me and husband. It's my anniversary for my store. So February 14th has like a, I hold it. I love the fact that it is on Valentine's Day, but it's definitely a near dear date to me. But I saw, as always, you get like all this hate, like I'm single, F love, this and the third or whatever. And I want you guys to know again that anything that someone does for you is an added bonus. Like you should be loving on yourself. Thank you. You should be loving on yourself. Self-care, self-love should be your number one priority. And anything that somebody else does after is an added bonus. Like it is your job to be happy. It's your job to be healthy. It's your job, to be responsible for your happiness, for your future endeavors, your relationship and things like that. Like if you're in a good relationship, it's your job to keep it on a, good momentum. If you're in a bad relationship, it's your job to set your boundaries and to skip out on that relationship. So I hope most people on this page, I preach love across the board, love for yourself. Hey, Wavy, how are you? Happy day after Valentine's Day. But I want you guys to know that it's not all about like a guy buying you flowers. Like, are you buying yourself flowers before that guy comes here? I always tell the story of how I met the love of my life, and it was through just prayer, healing, and manifestation. Like I went through some tumultuous relationships, had to start my life over. I survived domestic violence, and things like that. And it wasn't until I went on a self-healing journey. I went to therapy. I went to grievance counseling because, believe it or not, when you leave a man or leave a woman and you break up in a relationship, you're grieving that relationship. So you need to go to grievance counseling. I didn't know that until I got there. Learning how to move forward. You don't cry and go to the club and drink wine and get over a situation. You need to actually do the work, do the self-healing work, do the steps to actually move forward in those relationships. And it actually has work. Faith without works is dead. So it's not more than, it's more than you crying at home about this relationship. It is work that you actually have to do and healing yourself. And not until I got into a good headspace where I started to think about wanting to be in a relationship, because I joke about it all the time that me and my really, really good girlfriend, she just had a baby. Oh my gosh, she just had a baby like 2 weeks ago. But she was my ride or die, like go to the club, F love, F nigga party. Like that was my road dog when it came to like going to whatever party, F love, bouncing from sugar daddy to sugar daddy. Like we were literally just out here in these streets having an amazing time. And it's now that we're both engaged to be married. We both just had babies together. Or we both looked at each other the other day and were like, bitch, can you believe like last summer, 2 summers ago, a couple summers ago, that was me and you riding to Philly, riding to New York party and talking about some fuck love, fuck niggas. Like that was our mantra. But then as we got older, we were like, you know what? We need to get over the bad baggage that we went through, get over like the bad and the hurt that we got over and actually do some self-healing work. Go to therapy. I encourage you to go to therapy. I went to therapy and tried to move forward. And then I started to actually picture myself in a healthy relationship. And not only that, but just changing my mindset. You learn that a long time, like changing your mindset about how you feel about relationships, how you feel about men. Like I see women all the time, like, I would never get flowers from a guy all the time. I would never get, and it's like, if you say that, that's what the universe is going to pick up, and then you never will. You never will get flowers. Like when I met husband, I love fresh flowers. So I always have fresh flowers in my home, period. So when he comes along and, we're getting to meet each other, we're getting to know each other and things like that. And I'm saying to him, like, I love fresh flowers. And then he would come to my home. Or maybe he would see me after work and I would always have like a bunch of flowers in my hand. And he picked up on that. And that's something that he does now. Like he'll just randomly surprise me with flowers. I get flowers at least once a week or every 2 weeks. Now we have a baby, he can buy formula, but it's just the thought that counts. But I set those standards for myself. I was always into fine dining. I always liked to look nice. I always had a very nice perfume on. My hair was always done. My makeup is always done. So when you approach me that I'm a high value woman. Like I'm very educated. I have my own business, things like that. And that I'm not this ain't no riffraff. This ain't I might take her to McDonald's and, slide. No. Like I do love a fish sandwich, but I'm just saying, I digress. But having standards as a woman lets a man know how to treat you. Like my man still opens doors for me. He still takes out the trash. Like I don't lift anything heavy. And that is just because of the standard that I've created. Like I'm a queen, I'm a princess, and you're going to treat me as such. And I treat myself as such. Like before, when I lived by myself, I used to actually pay a service to come take my garbage out. Like you pay the valet people, they have valet trash. And you can pay someone to come pick your trash up at your door and take it to the trash can for you. Like I live a soft life. And I love it. I love it here. And I love submitting to my fiance. I love submitting to my soon-to-be husband. But it's not until I got into the place where I am now where I felt comfortable submitting, because some of these men out here that want to be bad bitches that be in the comments fighting women in the shade room comments, whatever, those are not the men we're submitting to. No. We're not submitting to those men. We're submitting to real men who provide, who profess their love for us, who protect their family, you know, those who set forth the precedents of how the household should be run and how a woman should be treated. Those are the men that we submit to. We're not submitting to Tyrone who want to borrow your car and borrow $40. Hello? You've never lived a soft life. It's nice over here. It takes some work to get to, because I used to be a hard ass independent woman. No man can't do nothing for me. But it's not until you actually get into the mindset of not wanting to be in struggle love anymore, not wanting to argue and cut. Like, I don't argue in my personal life. Like, I do not argue. I don't cuss. I might fuss. You know, I'm a brat, so I'll fuss about something, but I don't cuss. I don't argue. I'm not in their face telling them about, you know, I'm Jamaican. I'll tell them about your mother and tell you about your backside, like, in a heartbeat. But I don't do any of that in my personal relationship. My relationships before, we used to be in the streets fighting. My ex shot at me one time. Like, yes, I have been there. So it was for me to come from that place and realize that this is not for me. Like, I don't like that. Like, I like being at home, being secure at home, or being vulnerable is more so what the soft life is about. For me, soft life is more so being vulnerable, you know, no heavy lifting. I am an independent woman. I can pay all my bills. I do pay all my bills. I'm responsible for my own bills, but my husband does a lot of things as well in our relationship as far as finances and, you know, our well-being and things like that. But I let him be the man. I think that's really what the soft life is about. The soft life is really about more so about being submissive and being a woman and being a lady and not being the man. Like, you don't realize that when you're out here saying, like, no nigga can do this, and, you know, I can pay all my own bills, I don't need no man or whatever, you're portraying the masculine energy of a man. So when men meet you and you're like, oh, I intimidate men, you're not intimidating a man. What you're doing is you're competing with a man. You're competing with his role to be with you as a woman. If you're saying, I don't need no man, I could cook my own food, I could pay all my own bills, what are you allowing a man to do or to come into your space to do? Men want to provide and protect for you. So if you're saying, I can do this, I got my own gun, I do have my own gun, but I'm just saying, like, I can pay my own bills, I can do everything myself, you're not allowing him to come in and be a man. Then he's fighting with the masculine energy that you're portraying, and he's already a man, so he's gonna be looking like, this ain't it, this is not, what the fuck am I doing? I can't get down with this.